Morning. How are you, Janice?
I can't complain at all. I mean, for
Yeah.
me, it's more in the evening than the morning, but
Well, we gotta stick to these Americans, right?
yeah,
Um, that's where the money is.
it
It's
is.
funny the whole world works around US because that's like I was talking to someone about this. So my wife has a YouTube business, right? She lived in India back when she started this. She has a script writer in Nigeria, and the guy who work for my wife that does the payment live in Pakistan, and all the transactions are in US dollars. Isn't that kind of funny? Like the default is even for like tiny stuff, $3 transaction, it's US dollars. But anyhow, what's going on? How was your week? I mean, non NFT wise, personal stuff. I see you were partying a lot.
First time in ages, it felt like, but yeah, it was a crazy
What
weekend,
do you
but
mean first time in ages? You just got eligible to start drinking, right? Like you're 19, so you couldn't drink legally like until a year ago. Were you
3 years
sneaking
ago.
into clubs before
It's
that?
it's, it's legal in Germany, if you're age 16.
16. Wow, it's 21 in India.
In the US as well.
Yeah, that's crazy. I want to say it's 25 in some parts of India. There's a state in India there's no alcohol allowed. It's a big state with a lot of people. You know Mahatma Gandhi, right?
Yeah, I do.
He was born in the state of Gujarat, and the entire state is a dry state. No alcohol because he was born there. Here's the fun part: you can get all the alcohol you want if you stay at like a top luxury hotel. So I don't know,
Oh,
not so
all the
dry.
European and American tourists just go to the hotels and
That's where people, yeah, that's what people do. Yeah.
I mean, so it's in the end like I don't know, Abu Dhabi and Dubai probably.
Abu Dhabi and Dubai is different. So there is no alcohol allowed from. You can't go buy alcohol at liquor stores, but you can go drink at the bar and restaurant. But you can drink as much alcohol you want at your house as long as you bought it from like airport. So like when people land in Dubai, they buy like 40 cases of vodka because they want to live there for a year, and alcohol is expensive in the restaurants.
That's a
Um,
good year if you're going through 40 cases of vodka.
I
I
have a
wouldn't
friend who
like
does
that
that,
year.
so I don't know. Yeah, that's weird. That's a lot of alcohol. Anyway, let's look at the NFT Web3 stuff. We had quite a week. I want to say
I
there's
want to say
things
too.
that are happening, right?
At the beginning of the week, I was like, gonna be a slow week again. Lots of
Right.
delays and announcements, but at the end of the day, it's a
It
good
turned
week,
out okay. Yeah.
especially in
Okay.
terms of Grail NFT sales. But
Oh
we're
yeah.
gonna touch on that
Oh yeah.
later.
Do you want to take the first one?
Sure, I can. So
Cool.
yeah, end of an era. Artblocks and Snowthrow announced the end of their curated series, which basically launched generative art as we know it today. So no more Artblocks curated. He hinted at basically a relaunch and update of Artblocks as Artblocks 2.0. I mean, the name will still be Artblocks, but he said they'll go through a brand refresh, and yeah, that's basically it for that part. And curated probably for many people that are not that into Gen art. In curated in the series, there are like collections with names of Fidenza, Chromie Squiggles,
Right.
Remus, Gazes. So basically, all major art collections that are tied to art blocks have their origin in the curated series.
Right. It does feel like end of an era because even though there are more projects coming, like QQL by Tyler Hobbs and others hopefully in the future, but Art Blocks was this, it was such a cool it is such a cool project, right? Like it was
I mean,
such a
it's
curated.
not that like I said,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
we will have art blocks again. Just
sure.
like the foundation art blocks laid with curated is over now.
Yeah.
We're Some would say we're maybe not early anymore because the first phase of Gen art is now finished and concluded with curated,
Which is fair. Yeah.
which is totally fair. And I
It
mean,
is
it's
totally fair.
great to see. I think
Yeah.
one of the, maybe not the main reason, but also a reason for ending it, was that Snowfro said that he wants to give collectors the chance to keep their full sets of curated works and not force them to buy,
More.
like, bi-weekly basis new limited size drops for enormous amounts of ETH.
Who thinks like that? The guy doesn't want more money. Like,
I mean,
here we
he
are.
had the money, and to be fair, he put a lot of his money back into the ecosystem. Like, he, at least that's what he said. He's at the moment owning four complete curated sets, and they're like, I don't know how many exactly, but maybe 50 in existence out there. So that man is
That's
really
awesome.
buying
Yeah.
his own stuff.
Yeah. That's amazing.
And I mean, we saw him at VCon.
Yeah.
He's a gem.
That's awesome. Great.
Good to have someone like him, basically carrying Gen art for
Yeah.
NFTs. It's We're lucky to have him.
Very cool. Cool. We'll move to the next one. Apple allows NFT. So
Paper.
Apple changed their view on NFTs and will allow App Store listed apps to use NFTs. As with everything else, they'll take 30%, and people are not going to be happy about it. But this is huge, right? Because there's a lot of people that are very, not only people have iPhones and they like Apple, but a lot of people look at Apple as this company they can trust. So if there's something in an app store, it's usually okay to download that app, right? You don't have that same feeling on the Google side of things. So this is obviously massive. So what can you do? So if you are a developer and you build an app, like, you can allow people to buy and sell NFTs within that app.
You can now. There are no limits anymore.
So like OpenSea has an app, and but there was no way to trade within that app, right?
Yeah, it was view only.
Correct. Could OpenSea now enable it where you can buy and sell NFTs?
They could.
Okay.
Question is if they will, but they could now, and so
Okay.
could every other um project out there. I mean, there are no limitations anymore. You can
I
do
feel
whatever.
like it's more fun for like games that are already built, right? Like if you already play this certain game in an iPhone, now within that game, these developers can throw in NFTs that you can buy or trade, and
Or make skins NFTs.
exactly. Yeah.
Basically, make it in-app purchases now NFTs. But then again,
Yeah.
we hit that 30% cut from Apple.
Well, I think anybody that builds apps, they're kind of used to that bullshit, right? Like they
Yeah.
know they're gonna get raped by Apple, so they don't even care
So
anymore.
if you come out of the app space, you're used to it. If you come out
Yeah.
of the crypto NFT space, you're probably like, what the fuck? You want
Yeah.
30% for me? No, thanks.
Yeah. Like, before NFTs, like crypto in general, the fees are usually less than 0.25%, right? Like if
Yeah.
you have a proper account with a proper exchange, you're in the 0.1, 0.15 range. So yeah, that's significant jump from what they're used to. Anyway, moving on, proof of stake. Chipotle celebrates the switch to proof of stake and offered its new flavor, garlic steak, to ETH paying customers at 99.95 discount. That's crazy.
It
Um,
is.
it's
It's
funny
such a good
because,
marketing move. Just
huh?
gotta give it to them.
Sure. A question on that. How are they accepting ETH payments?
It's through an app.
Okay, so if I go to Chipotle, I order something, I can pay in ETH now,
Yeah.
regardless of like if I'm buying this particular
That I'm
sandwich.
not sure of. It's
Okay.
not for that instance. But I mean, if
Okay.
they're doing
And
it now
do you
for
know
that,
if that is US only? Is it worldwide? Or
it was US only.
I'm gonna guess
Because I
it's
think
US.
the flavor also was US only.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. I mean, what do you think about it? I feel like it's just marketing tactic, right? Like
It
you're
is
just
100%
it's
marketing
they
tactic. But I
don't
mean,
care
it's
about.
great to see a big brand like Chipotle actually feeling the need or feeling that there's a return on a marketing move like that. So
Absolutely.
good sign.
Sure. Okay. Well, cool. Moving
Yeah,
on.
you
I
hit on
like
that
the I
one
like
earlier.
the I like the title of the next one. You said what bear market? Question mark. Where's the bear market? Tyler Hobbs, the mint of QQL. They sold 900 NFTs at 14.5 ETH and raised 17.5 million in the primary sales, and then another 5,000 ETH in secondary sales, which is pretty phenomenal. I was not expecting this thing to sell out at 14 ETH. I was definitely gonna put my money on under 10 ETH, but here we are. Maybe it's because it's only 1,000, right?
It is. I mean, in the end, it's only 900. They kept 100, so
Exactly. Yeah. The floor was up till to like 28 at one point, right?
23. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I was pretty sure that it would sell out in that range. I thought
No,
even
yeah. I mean,
my guess was around 20 to 25 ETH because I
oh,
talked
okay.
to
Yeah, you were
some
way
folks
more
earlier, and
aggressive
they
than
were pretty
Marathon.
sure that it's not gonna get down below 10.
Interestingly, did you see QQL was delisted from X2Y2? Well,
It wasn't delisted. It was
yeah,
private.
I take, yeah, okay. That's not a good word. It wasn't delisted. It's they decided to not list themselves on X2Y2, right? Like they're like, we're not going to support a platform that's promoting zero fee. Is what the issue is. What is your opinion on that?
I mean, there's no way to do it right or to do it wrong. In the end, creators want their royalties, and I understand it. I support it, but forcing or saying in the contract that they're just not going to list on X2Y2 is, in my opinion, also not the way to do it. It's kind of dictating the market where to do things and what they're allowed to do and what they're not allowed to do. So I'm not a big fan of it. I get it, but
Don't you think it's just matter of time before like there's six
sure,
platforms? Yeah.
sure,
Yeah.
sure,
Okay. Do you wanna take the next one?
I will. Banksy enters NFTs, kind of a clickbait title, but
Yeah.
you're now able to buy an original Banksy artwork as an NFT. It's very, very small size number as it's basically 4 album covers that
Right.
were designed by Banksy in his early days, in the beginning of the 2000s, for the artist Austin Wilde. And yeah, they're now being immortalized on the blockchain and sold as 4 one-of-one NFTs in a collab with Maker's Place.
Sweet. That's I don't really have an opinion on that.
No,
It's
me
it's
neither.
like
It's
a shiny
just
thing.
a cool thing to see
Sure.
because the move is
Absolutely.
happening now because I forgot when it was, but recently Banksy gave Austin Wilde the full commercial rights on that artwork or on
Right.
those works, and then he turned around and made them
Okay.
NFTs.
That's awesome. We'll move on to the next one. Can we take a look at the loan one after the news section? I feel like
Yeah,
the Warner Music
sure,
one
sure.
was more of a news thing, and then we can go into loans and milestones and you know. So Warner Music enters Web3. Warner Music Group announces a partnership with OpenSea to help build and extend communities of selected artists of the label in Web3. If my first thought is, if they're going into this, shouldn't they be partnering with more like Sound XYZ, where most of the music NFT stuff is happening?
I
Like,
I agree, but I think what they're really aiming at in the end is just getting the big players and getting the big masses, and not really going into the music round. It's more they want to focus on building a community in the end. So
yeah, do
it's
they have
not
a
for them
Discord?
about specializing in music NFTs. It's just getting as many folks as possible to look at the NFTs of
Did they
their.
start a Discord?
Hmm?
Did they start a Discord server?
Wanna
The
music?
Warner. Yeah.
I don't think they
How
did.
are they gonna build a community without
Well,
Discord?
they have a first project now launching in collab with OpenSea, because
Yeah.
actually OpenSea is launching a new product, which is kind of a
Right.
launch pad for projects, and Warner Music is basically the first project they'll launch, or not directly Warner Music, but
Right.
it's called Probably. It's
Okay.
It's a collab in the end from probably nothing and a music producer that I don't remember, but he has like 150K followers so on Twitter, so he isn't small. And yeah,
Sweet.
basically the collab is just for OpenSea to brand the NFTs, launch the NFTs, and build a community around
Right.
those artists for them.
Okay, cool. Well, let's move on to the next one here. We have this loan situation. Monster loan on Mega Mutant. Web3 storytelling company Fragment XYZ took 1,000 ETH loan with their two mutants, and then they used that money to purchase another mutant for 1,000 ETH. They're now holding 4 of the 12 Mega Mutants. So I'm not super involved into Board API Club, so I think my understanding is Mega Mutant is the one you get if you use M3 Serum with your
Yeah,
mutant, right?
yeah.
Okay. If you had M3, don't you want to use your M3 mutant serum with like the top end ape, so you actually get like a really really high scaled mutant?
No, the M3 mutants work differently. They weren't based on what ape you use. They were based so you had
Just
like
the
12
serum.
pre designed mutants, and it was just random which of those
Got
12
it.
you get.
Got it. So it doesn't even matter what. So in that case, you want to use your cheapest ape because, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I feel like this is good timing to be taking loans against NFTs because the market is so bad right now. You're not really gonna get liquidated. Like, back in the day, if you took like 100 ETH loan against your board ape, you're kind of playing with fire at that point, right? But now your board app is worth 60 70 ETH, you took a 30 ETH loan, what can really go wrong, right? Like, I don't know, it feels like a good time to be doing
But
those
in the
things.
end, we're not talking bored apes here. We're talking mega mutants, and
Yeah,
we're
I know,
talking 500 ETH per
right?
in an
It's
asset
crazy.
that is hardly moving, that has
Right,
almost no liquidity,
right.
and the loan is for 90 days only at 18%. So
What's the liquidation term? So 90
as
days
far
only.
as I understood it, it's basically if you pay it back, you get them back. If you
No,
don't
I
pay
get
it
that,
back,
but what happens if, let's say, between now and 90 days, three mega mutant cells at 200 ETH each? So
um,
technically, the floor dropped a lot. Is the company gonna just not, want more collateral?
I don't. I mean, it's a pretty unusual loan, so I'm pretty sure they are in talks, and maybe they would reach out and say, "Hey,
Right.
can you please top it up?" But at least
Do you know
there's
if this
no
was like on
problem.
NFT Fi or is it like peer to peer, more of an
It's
ecosystem?
peer to peer. It's from
Okay.
one of the biggest actually crypto lenders out there. Do you know Nexo?
Yes.
Yeah, Nexo provided the loan.
Awesome. Good stuff. I think I saw something else regarding the loans. Yeah, so I saw a thread yesterday. This guy lost his ape because he took a loan.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was sad. So for people listening, it's basically this. He took a loan for about 20 ETH. He was gonna pay back in a month, and then the month is coming to end, and he doesn't have the money. He reach out to the lender and says, "Well, would you extend the loan?" And the lender goes, "Sure, I'll do it for 1 ETH per week for up to 4 weeks." And the borrower is happy. He's like, "Yeah, that works." And then I think he kind of thought, since we already talked, it's a done deal, it's like a handshake deal, and he didn't do it like in writing, meaning he didn't go to his NFTFi account and actually request it to extend it. And then last minute when he did request it, the lender is like, "Well, I wasn't around, I'm busy, sorry, you defaulted, I get to keep your ape." And then he gave 10 ETH to the borrower, which is, I'm not sure what you're trying to do with the 10 ETH. Like, because clearly you don't care about the person, right? You're greedy and
I
you
know.
want the ape
No,
for
no,
20
no
ETH.
more at all.
Yeah, so why give the 10 ETH?
Maybe he thought he would get out of a shitstorm or something, but
But
I mean,
then, I
either give it
mean,
back and just take the interest, or don't give back anything. I mean,
Yeah,
probably in the end,
is it the same thing as all these celebrities starting orphanage and donating because they have done so much shit in their life that they want just something to make them feel good.
actually there was a case earlier, a couple months ago. Do you know Nate Rivers?
No.
He has a fairly big Twitter account, like 30,
Okay.
40, 50K or something, and he was scammed out of a fairly decent Bored Ape when
Okay.
floor was around 120, 130. And the scammer actually turned around and just sent him like 50 ETH because he felt bad.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's like you've done so much shit in your life. You kind of believe in God, and you're like, I'm going to hell. Let me see if I can salvage the situation by sending 10 ETH or 50 ETH in that case. Okay, let's go to the next one. What do we have here? New milestone for CryptoPunks. CryptoPunks hit 1 million ETH in volume, and now they're back up on top. In set wait, you said it was their number one volume this past week. Were they trading below, like in the top five for the week? Because I've always looked at, I don't look at 24 hours or 7 days. It's just boring to me. I'm always more of, all time
I
and
mean,
the
all
month.
time they
Yeah,
were and still are number one.
they're
And
always gonna be. Well, I don't know, apes are fucking always trading. There's so much volume in apes.
apes are, I think, up to 700K. So
We
I
can just
think at some point they'll probably overtake CryptoPunks if they
the way it's
continue
going.
that sell through rate.
Well, so 30 days volume, punks are up. So I don't know if that's gonna, apes are gonna take over or not. Well,
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 to be
we'll
fair,
see.
the that's what I actually wanted to talk about with this one. Um, like volume for the last 30 days is like heavily influenced by those two major sales we're going to talk
Yes.
about later. So that's kind of screwed
Yeah,
number.
it's screwed
But
number.
yeah, maybe we talk about that later because I wanted to talk about the differences in Grail values between punks and apes. Like for example, between gold apes and like punk apes and punk aliens and punk zombies and mega mutants, because there's still a lot of discrepancy between those.
Right.
But I think we can talk about that if when we talk about the
The
NFTs.
sales. Okay, cool. What do we have next? OpenSea volumes down. Yeah, that chart looks so shitty. For people listening that can't see it, it's such a flat fucking curve. You're going from 1.5 million sales to basically zero on this chart. This is really bad. So after hitting a record volume of
Well,
4.8,
that's 1.5 million ETH,
yeah,
so
that's what I
four and
meant.
a half billion US dollars.
Yeah, 4.8 billion in January 2020 to now 1 year low of 348 million. That's fucking crazy. Yeah,
It's
how.
just going down and down and down,
Yeah, what is that? 348 million out of 4.8 billion is
like
so
8%.
eight. Yeah, less than that. That's fucking insane. Um, is there? Have you looked at the chart of new wallets being created or new OpenSea accounts being added every month?
I haven't looked. I just looked at the like total number of users that ever
if
interacted
if
with
there's
NFTs.
like like let's say 10, 20, 50K new wallets creating getting created every month, I feel like that's still bullish, right? So
That
maybe
would
there's
be.
not a lot of
I feel like
sales.
it's probably a bit lower than that,
Yeah,
but I
5K.
need to check on that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's look at the innovation of the week. QQL grants 2% royalties on secondary sales to the original minter of the piece. That one's interesting. So I didn't get a chance to look into this. Just like, tell me a little bit about how this works.
So, are you familiar with the QQL minting process
Yes.
overall? So,
Yes.
you maybe for those listening, with QQL, you can basically create your own artwork. you can use the algorithm that Tyler Hobbs and his co-artist created, and then just try and put in different metrics into the algorithm for as long as you need to find your dream output, and then you can decide to mint that output. And because in the end you're then part of the artist team, because you were the one picking the output of the algorithm, they
Right.
decided to grant you a 2% royalty of all secondary sales on that piece that you minted. And
Forever.
forever, forever, yeah.
So
Yeah.
you sell your piece and now you get 2% royalties.
They get 5, you get 2, and then whatever the marketplace gets.
Oh, so 2%. Oh, wow. So 2% of the seven, not 2%
Yeah.
of the
Yeah, yeah,
royalty.
no, yeah, yeah.
Wow.
So
That's
2% of 100%, not 2% of their royalty cut.
that's fucking crazy. That's pretty amazing, right?
I mean, now imagine maybe one day your piece sells for 100 ETH, 2
You
ETH.
were just, yeah, on a vacation and made 2 ETH for something you did 4 years ago.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Okay. Well, let's move on to the sales section here. So we have major art sales. QQL obviously was going to be in news. So we have 100 ETH QQL sale,
Which is
92
by
ETH for
far
Death.
the biggest QQL sale out there. And I was surprised about that one, but I dug a bit deeper into it, because it was like, I think the next highest was maybe 30, but I don't think that even an output sold in the 30s range. I think the next highest sale was just the top of the mint price floor. But my guess on that piece is because that piece was one of the pieces that were selected by the curation board. You know that they picked 9 outputs. There was a
Yes.
Twitter contest. Yeah,
Yes.
and that piece was one of
Was
the
one of
winning
them.
pieces.
Okay. Cool. I mean, that explains it.
I mean, it doesn't
We have
explain it because the other 8 didn't sell for 100 ETH, but I guess it's just that one person was like so in love with that, and I don't know.
well, that's what art sales does, right? Like one person can decide to pay whatever they, yeah. 66.66 ETH death from Jack NFT. Is that so? Jack NFT, is that the same artist who did the Jack glitch
Yeah,
in the We
in
Friend
April
series
too.
too?
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
that's the guy.
Yeah,
And you want to know a fun fact? He actually
sure.
followed our podcast on Twitter.
Oh wow. Okay, well that's awesome.
Yeah,
That
I was pretty surprised to see it, because he started following me when I tweeted that out, and then moments later he also followed our podcast. So if you're
that's
listening,
amazing.
thumbs up.
Yeah. PFP sales, we have 3,300 ETH sale that everybody talk about, 1,000 ETH Mega Mutant. That's the one this company bought after
Yeah,
taking the loan, right? Okay. 980 ETH Zombie sale, and then 777 ETH Trippy King Ape, which kind of looks fucking trippy. Um,
he does indeed. One of the best
what's
looking apes, in my opinion, out
you
there.
think?
Yeah,
What,
I
what
mean,
what's up with this biting his lower lip here? It's
do you know that ape actually once belonged to Kalish?
I did not know that.
He made a 200, I think, 50
Eat
ETH
flip.
flip on it.
I remember that big flip he made on the ape. I didn't know it was this
Yeah,
one.
it was that ape. And then the guy that bought it for back then almost 700 ETH
Hmm.
accepted a wheat offer from it at basically the bottom of the bottoms for, I think, 140 ETH
Wow.
to the Punks market maker, Punks OTC.
Right.
And then he turned to flip it for, I think, three, no, I think in total it was like 450,
Right.
316 ETH, and the bought ape in like 1.5, 2 months. And now obviously a 777 ETH sale.
Right.
So he's
Well,
moving around quite a bit.
that's good. We have a bunch of super rare sales. I feel like the sales part of our podcast is probably fun if we start adding these images, right?
Pictures, yeah.
Like
Without
people
the
that are
pictures,
even
it doesn't really make
watching,
any sense.
yeah, they have no idea what they're looking at. Um, But yeah, there's a 200 ETH 3D Punk, 3D Punk. There's 144 ETH Diamond Grill um, ape that sold. Azuki 100 ETH. Fucking Azuki is still going on, right? Like after,
It's insane. I mean, last week we talked about Azuki Spirit sales because there
right?
were, I think, three or four at
Yeah,
100,
good
105,
ones.
105, and 105. And I mean, it's insane. The Grail liquidity in Azuki's is there. Almost feels like since Ranger is having such a good momentum, Azuki is also back on track.
Right, right. Even after like getting delisted on accident by OpenSea and all that bullshit, I thought that
Yeah.
was going to be really bad for Azuki, but apparently not. Nobody cares. They're back and everything seems to be normal.
I mean, at this point, the delisting, that's fairly obvious. A mistake of some sorts is almost a
Right.
bullish event for collections
Yeah.
because
Sure.
it just pops more eyeballs on the
Absolutely.
collection.
Flip of the week. Somebody flipped QQL Mint Pass number 880 from 12.99 to 21.98 in 17 hours. That's a
And that
nice
was the lowest
$10,000.
GQL sale there was, and he was one of the highest.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he
Good stuff.
market timing in perfection.
Yeah. So we have some fumbles of the week. You should change that to tax loss harvesting of the week, because clearly people that are selling this, they're looking at the end of the year, and you know this one stands out the most. The first one, the Clonex, somebody bought it for
But
270
it
ETH and
just
sold it for,
hurts.
yeah, that hurts.
It's brutal. I mean, he bought that thing for like 800K and
Right.
now went out of it with 60K left.
Wow. Well, I like his glasses. It's got the
I do
Bitcoin
too, but
glasses.
do you like those glasses? Are those glasses 715K worth to you? Just
Hey,
to look at
don't
them for
question.
160 days?
I don't know.
I
I
mean, you
mean,
could just right click save them at that point.
I cannot believe you said that. You can just right click save them, make them your wallpaper.
Exactly.
Okay.
Would be cheaper than
Outlook for
that.
the week. So we have news on Moonbird style,
Yeah,
which already,
those actually dropped, but
yeah,
I think
we'll
that's
we'll
one for
talk
the
about
next
it
one.
next week. Yeah.
Yeah,
When Gang Coin. This has become a meme at this
yeah,
point. We've
I've
done
been
three
staking Abe
episodes.
as well.
Yeah, this
But at
is
least
crazy.
there was some announcement over the Gamecoin. They
Right.
basically officially said, "Yeah, sorry, we are late. It's gonna drop in Q4. We're not sure when, but it's gonna come."
Okay, well, it's coming. That wraps up our podcast for today. Unless you have anything else to talk about.
Not really. Maybe to add on to the Mega Mutants from earlier.
Oh, do you want to quickly pick the winner of the?
Ooh, yeah, yeah, I
Yeah,
totally
just go
forgot
ahead
that.
and yeah, just you can use like a random tweet picker, or just scroll through the whole thing and see who read, because I think we said retweet, and
Yeah,
just look at the list of retweets and pick someone. I mean, we don't want to spend 5 minutes.
I mean we can spend those 5 minutes. I feel it's
um
worth
I just want to make sure people that like listen in and watch, they're not just sitting around and thinking, well, this is kind of getting in there.
fair.
That's
Then
all.
maybe let's do it at the end when we stop the recording. But I just wanted to add to the Mega Mutant, the founder actually, so the founder of Fragment, the company that did take out the loan and bought the mutant,
Right.
actually responded to my tweet saying they indeed own one more Mega Mutants, so
Wow,
they own five.
that's fucking crazy. So they own 5 out of 12, right?
Hmm.
Well, good for them, right?
Good for them, yeah.
Yeah, that's easy. 10,000 each. Well, there's no liquidity, so you can just call it whatever. It's
It's a death
2000.
ray for liquidity because I think he bought three in the end of 2021. I think basically at the peak of the market in September, October. So
Right.
there's a lot of sunken liquidity
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
those mutants,
Well,
but he'll be fine, I guess.
hopefully.
But funny fact, he did say that he's actually taking on quite a risk with the loan he took out. So it sounded to me it was more of a decision to I don't have the money right now, and I actually need the loan to buy that ape because it's available right now.
Right.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cool. That's it for now, I guess. Unless there's anything else, you have a last minute
No, I
closing
think we
thought.
can.
I like the fact that we're cutting it in 35 minutes, like instead of going hour long. I feel like that's just more value for time for everyone. Um, you want to
There's
just
no point
quickly,
in stretching it even
yeah.
more.
There's no that's sure. Do you want to quickly look at the retweets and pick a winner?
I feel biased. I know them all.
Don't worry about it. Just pick someone.
Yeah, let's. I mean, we can end it and then just use a tweet picker because I really don't feel comfortable picking one. I would feel bad.
I'll do it.
Okay, you do it. Okay,
I'll do
that's
it. I'll
that's
be
it's your
yeah.
token. You pick it.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, it's we don't want to make a big deal out of this. So you go to the tweets, you look at everybody who retweeted the original tweet. There's 106 98 retweets and 8 coded tweets. So you want to look at both. And then you get this list and you just pick the Asento, ASENTO, and the username on Twitter is Asento101. Business corporate manager, head mode of Lovely Raccoons, and the moderator of another NFT project. So Asento, you won Hangout Hawk call on October 6th with Gary Vee. It's a group call. Send us your name, and we'll get you sorted out. All right.
Good. Congrats to you.
Awesome. Yeah. Congratulations, Asento, and for everybody retweeting, thank you. This is very helpful. We got 200 Twitter follower because of this. Yeah, that wraps up today's episode. And as always, thank you for amazing work. And I'll see you next week.
See you next week.